So part of the technology, you've got lights. We're looking at cameras out here.
Ground sensors.
What about ground sensors?
We've got a bunch of them.
Ground sensors.
You know, they can be, well, the cartel knows where most of them are.
Yeah, they're watching to put them in.
Yeah. I mean, you know, on paper it sounds real good, but when you're dealing with a sophisticated group of people that are making billions of dollars on the deal, they're going to figure it out.
They that's the thing. You know, that's big business, well funded, well armed.
You bet.
They got it figured out. And, you know, I know they're shooting that stuff over the wall with slingshots and homemade mortars and that kind of stuff. Coast Guard out in San Diego, they're catching unmanned underwater submarine drones full of drugs. I mean, it's just it's hard to stay ahead of these guys. So, in the heyday, what do you recall as far as cartel coming across and undocumented aliens, number-wise, compared to what we see today?
Well, we've sponsored 3 guys to be citizens in my lifetime.
Have you?
And, you know, they're good cowboys, good people.
Oh, sure.
And back then, you would, oh hell, there'd be 2 or 3 people a month that want to come over and work for you. And they worked. And so, you know, I go back to the 50s and 60s with that. Then in the 80s, Reagan, who I admired, President Reagan, when he gave amnesty is when this started. And everybody said, well, he gave amnesty to 1.5 million people. Yeah. I'm coming. So we started getting 300 a month back then. And then it just slowly evolved into 300 a day. Well, that's what they were catching.
Yeah.
And, you know, Border Patrol criticized me for saying they caught 500,000 on our ranch in 30 years. And I thought, well, go ahead. I said, I can prove it. You can too. And they said, well, what you should have said is we only catch 1 out of 6.
Okay.
So you figure
Start
500,000 times 6, well, that's 3 million people just through our ranch.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably right.
What are they apprehending today?
They're getting about 40 a week apprehensions now. And that, from a little bit east of Naco down to the river. And, most of them are on me and, you know, our ranch.
Yeah.
And that's Donald Trump made the biggest impact of improving it of any president. Just his rhetoric and his stance, and it's still 40 a week too many, but
yeah, it still is. Well, you know, one of the things that we're seeing that the public doesn't understand, that the drive-by media, mainstream media, MSNBC and CNN and, you know, all these guys, we've got a hot war going right over that wall, right there. Mile and a half from here, there's a hot war, and it spills over into Arizona, our border of the United States, and it impacts national security in a big way.
Well, they're terrorists.
Oh yeah, I mean, international terrorists. That's what they are.
You bet.
You got to call it like it is, and a president does that. And you know, we've been criticized for picking on the Democrats, but
right.
Well, our big stance from a conservation standpoint is, well, we've got to run a battle with the Center for Biological Diversity because they say, well, we're environmentalists.
Right.
Well, no, you're not, because you don't give a damn about the environment. And they're squalling about the wall.
Yeah.
We've been down here before looking at the devastation in the on the landscape, and I mean, this is one of the most pristine areas on the planet. There's only one Sonoran Desert.
You bet.
And we own it.
That's right.
And these guys are trashing it. Come on, you want to go for a ride?
Well, that is one of the biggest statements that is the truth, but nobody wants to acknowledge the fact of the amount of plastic on our ranch.
Yeah.
Over, you know, it's thousands of tons. What changed we don't have near the garbage we used to because of cell phones.
Sure.
Originally, when they were coming in, lay up for 2 or 3 days, and that's where all the garbage came from.
Exactly.
The cell phone now, they don't lay up anymore, and the cartel doesn't let them pack anything. They got maybe a day pack with a liter of water, and that's it.
Oh.
And you'll find maybe that plastic bottle, but cell phones have eliminated the trash for us. But
Well, that's not a bad thing.